live. I don't know if anybody will be there. I didn't really announce it. I'm just going to keep going with it. It says it's connected to chat. So I'm just going to say hi, everyone. Oopsie. Say hi, all. Welcome. Oopsie. That didn't really work. Okay. Actually, all right, I'm going to see if I can do this. Actually, hi all, welcome to my late April chat. Remember to be friendly and kind in the comments. All right, and I'm going to send that. All right, so we got that done. And hopefully that's out and up there for you and you can see that and all this. Well, today it's one of those days when my husband is taking my grandson to visit his dad. They're making the exchange and I thought I would come on and go live. You can see my mess and all the things that I'm working on. I made a video this afternoon, a new brooch for spring video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be setting up these boxes for photos with more permanent stuff. Tags, hopefully I can fit them nicely. Hopefully this will work. And I'm going to start with 1960s. And I'm going to have one that has 1950s. I have some that say different other decades. I'm going to rewrite those. But I should have them per decade, really. And then I'm going to have one that says 1940s. I think I'm going to do 20s and 30s together. And then $1800s through 1900s. I need one for the 1970s. I'm just writing, and they look like this. I'll probably have to cut around them maybe. I don't know. When I get them in there. There you go. So did I have the 1970s written? No. 1970s. 1980s. 1900s. I'm gonna, no. 1990s. There's gonna be more from the 1990s. And then 2000s to 2020. And then I'll do 2020 on. I just goofed on that. I'll just keep that for something else. Do, I wonder if any of these are doubles. Sometimes they stick together. And 2020's on. Okay, so that's more 2020 on, and that's more current. And they'll always have to be revived. I don't have quite enough boxes right now, so I'm going to have to get more boxes, but I'm going to hopefully go through some things in this box right here. We'll see what we've got. Now, when I was cleaning up, I ended up having to put a lot of stuff in, so I really don't know what's there. This is my cello stand. So that's not photos. Then I have this beautiful sunstone, palm stone for creativity. Oh, it's so nice. It's so pretty. See how pretty that is? Put that out here. And then I have another one that I want to say it's a kyanite, green kyanite. Oh, nice energy there. Is this dragonstone or is it snake skin? No, dragonstone. Dragon's blood. Dragon's blood. And then I have golden healer. And I have a shungite in there to help cleanse all of those. I don't know what this is. Probably to a stand. I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. It's something that you use it. Merlinite. Took me. I knew it was like, I think of Halloween in that one. I've got a nice little crystal stand for spheres. I've got some random stuff in here. And this little adventuring heart. So that'll have my palm stones in it eventually just. But I have photos, lots of photos to go through. And this was me as a baby in 1950s, late 1950s. And in the early 60s, me at about 4. Me at about 2.5. I'm about 15 here. This I was maybe 5, 5.5, something like that. Maybe 6, but probably 5.5. I think that was a green dress with a pink bow and it had pink trim, pink flowers on it. Me as a 23-year-old woman, 22-year-old. I just graduated from college. Me at around 9. I would have been 8 or 9. And my cousins are in this picture, and that year my cousins lived with us, and I don't know where they are. I know where the oldest one lives. Her name is Marlene, but I'm missing Nancy. I don't know what happened to her. And Vivian. And they lived with us right after their mom died, and I sure wish I could find them. So, kind of putting that out there too. This is my cousin Tanya. I didn't realize who was it. This is Tanya. Oh my goodness. Tanya died a few years ago, and she and I were pretty close on Facebook. I did a lot of healing prayers for her and made a necklace for her, and she lived a year or so longer. She lived her best life that year. I mean, she was enjoying life, and this is from the 1960s, and it's my 5th grade teachers and 6th grade teacher. 5th and 6th grade I had with Mr. Novitsky, and he's out there on the playground with some of my classmates. And he died just a few years ago. The same year, just a month before my mom died. Or no, just weeks before my mom died. He died like on the 23rd of December, and my mom died January 2nd, that very next year, so it was like about a week apart. And they had team taught when he was a first year teacher. And my mom had actually been on the team that was his cooperating teacher, his helper or whatever, worked with her, so she knew him when he was a student teacher. So, and he used to hunt with my dad. So, I mean, it was, you know, he was kind of a very important man in my life. Very nice guy. And he was like 6'4", and just really nice guy. And his really good lifelong friend, Sue Tabbert, she died about a year later, and she was my third grade teacher, and just a neat gal. And the last time I saw them, I was training one of my dogs, and they were training one of his dogs, and yeah, we had a nice chat. It was fun. Yeah. And this is me. I was probably maybe 12, maybe 13. No, I don't think I was 14, because this is at a certain woman's house that we kind of had a falling out with shortly after. My uncle died when I was 12, so I think it was, before that. So I might have been 11 or 12 in that picture. Maybe a little older, not much. The pantsuit makes me think of 7th grade, so I might have been 12 going on 13. It might have been the Christmas I turned 13. So that's what I'm guessing it was. Which would have been the last Christmas we stopped over because my uncle had died in my uncle's girlfriend's house. And my uncle was really my blood aunt's, my mother's sister's husband, and she died on my 2nd birthday. But we were friendly with him the rest of his life. So, I mean, he was always my uncle. And I was very close to his children and my aunt's children. They were like older siblings to me. So their children, I'm like their aunt. And I'm still in contact with them almost daily. And one of them has become one of my best friends and definitely my confidant. So, sometimes those relationships are really, really, really important. And, I've always been a dog lover, cat lover, and this was my JoJo. I had her when I was 9 years old. She was just 6 weeks old when I got her. She was a friend's sister-in-law, my mom's best friend. Her sister-in-law raised poodles, and Josette was the runt of the litter, and she was really, truly a teacup poodle, tiniest poodle really that they bred, I think. And she was just a very cute little dog. Always loved to be in pictures and pose. And she's on a pillow that was my cousin Nancy's pillow when she lived with my grandparents when I was about 4 or 5. And then, she moved and stuff. I ended up having the pillow to sit on the floor. I got nothing to sit on on the floor at my grandma and grandpa's until Nancy left, and I had a pillow then to sit on the floor. Otherwise, I was just sitting on the floor. And they wondered why I got sick. I was my babysitter. But there's a better picture of JoJo. And this is my dad and me in Wabeno, Wisconsin. And that's Blackie. I used to ride him every summer. And I just loved riding that little pony. My dad always liked to ride a red sorrow, he would call it, that colored horse. So that was my dad and me. And these were my grandparents. And that's the very first picture that I have of myself. And it says Tammy, 3 months old, taken in Wisconsin, Sister Clara and husband Art Tam. So this was probably taken by my aunt Blondina, and it was my grandma and grandpa and me, and I was 3 months old, and nobody ever took a picture of me before. And I was not allowed to go out of the house because I was born with pneumonia until I was 2 months old. So this was probably about March of 1959. And one of my first outings. And my first picture that I know of that they took at all. You know, I don't quite understand that because we took scads of pictures of my children. I know they maybe didn't have a lot of money, but my mom had all kinds of pictures before she was married. It's just kind of odd that and DNA wise, I know I'm my parents' child. There's no doubt about it. But because I've had a DNA test and it would have to be that way because it just wouldn't make any sense, because I definitely have my father's side of the family and the relatives are all the same, and there are people on my mother's side that they're distant cousins and as distant as they should be, and it would just really be odd if somebody else was with my dad. So that would make everything really screwed up, but anyway, who knows? I found out, remember, I'm the one that found out I had a half sibling at 60 years old. Was I 60? Yeah, it was my 60th birthday. So up until 5 years ago, I thought I was totally an only child for both parents, but I wasn't. Anyway, so it's kind of odd. I mean, my parents always made me feel loved, but and I know I was sickly, and maybe they thought I would die, and maybe they thought it would be really sad to have a reminder, but I would want a picture of my daughter in case she did die. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. That my very first picture is with my grandparents, and the only picture that I have, really. There was one at 6 months. I don't have it here, and someday I'll find it. That was taken on Mackinac Island. My parents would never take me to Mackinac Island. We traveled well all around. In fact, they made a point of taking someone that they treated more like a granddaughter than my children to Mackinac Island as if a thumb in my face in the 1990s. That's how my parents were. And even if I said something nasty when I was 20 and hurting or something, and there were a couple of things that I did that were kind of not nice, and I apologize, but you just don't. But it was before that. I mean, they left me sometimes alone for weekends, and I was 16 years old in the house. I wasn't supposed to let anybody in, which I didn't, of course, and I was supposed to take my grandmother to church, which I did. I remember one time, I was, maybe 16, 17, whatever, probably 17. Yeah, 17. In 1976, when we had the bicentennial, I had my mom's mom, my grandma, over for dinner on that Sunday and made steak, which didn't work too well because I wasn't good at working the grill, so I ended up having to broil them. I was kind of upset that it didn't go well, but my grandma was fine. But I insisted we eat on my mother's good china, and she was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." I said, "No, this is a special day, and I'm going to make this special for us." And so we did that. And I don't care if my mom didn't like it. Bicentennial, and you don't take your daughter along, you leave her in a house alone? Yeah. I watched everything on TV and I felt really sad. I remember really feeling sad. But, yeah. So, being alone is sometimes easier for me than anything, because that's what I grew up being, is alone. Alone. And that's why I do these videos, because I pretend I have friends out there. I don't think anyone is watching this live. I really wish someday I would have people watching live and they'd say hi, and I could be going, "Oh, hi Mildred," and "Hi Sharon, good to see ya," or something like that. But that isn't going to happen for me. But I make myself happy, and that's what I do, And there I am with my JoJo. Another picture of me with my JoJo. So I'm going to be putting these in boxes labeled with the right year. And here's weirdness. January 1964, and I don't know who this person is, but it was something that my parents had. And I have a feeling it might have been my brother, but I don't know. And here's another picture of that little boy, and he's cute. But there, you know, and it was someone related to the people that my brother grew up with, that I said, and my mom, I think, said one time, I don't know if that's your brother or not. I don't know, you know, but you're not supposed to know. And so I kind of, you know, I forgot about it, and they were kind of, and I don't know. So I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I should post these online and ask my niece if that was my brother. You know, because I'm going to keep those out. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take photos of them and I'm going to put them online. Because it would be nice to know. I didn't even realize they were in this pack of photos. But, you know, anyway. So all of these, I got to, like, this is 70s. This is 80s. These are 60s. That's 50s. Where's that other one? This is 50s. These are 60s. You know, so I'm going to kind of put them in my little piles, and then I'll put them in my little boxes, which is what this is about. I just thought I'd take you along for memory lane here. And, you know, whoops. I think I put my baby picture in the wrong place. I have to put that down for a second. Got baby pictures in the wrong place here. See, I know this one is 68, 67 or 68, so, you know, I know where to put it. But, and I know these are in order now. And this is my very first picture. This is my first formal picture. I'll put those there. There were probably some other baptism pictures because I was baptized twice. And the second time they took pictures of me when I was baptized, I was 6 months old. And this one's probably the 70s as well. So I'm going to put these in my 70s pile. My cousin. I'm just so happy that I found this baby picture of Tanya. It makes me feel like she's here. Makes me feel close and really good. That's really neat. My Uncle David was my father's half-brother. My grandfather married again after my grandmother died. My grandmother died in 43, and he married sometime in the 50s and had David. And David was, actually it would have been late 40s probably. But anyway, David was, my grandmother died in 43. David was 12 years older than me. So David was born probably in 46, something like that. And his daughter was born, I think, in the 70s or 80s. And I'm going to pretend it's the 70s. It might have been the 80s. I maybe have to put it over there. I think I'll put it in the 80s pile because I think she was I don't know. I'm going to put her in the late 70s, but she might have been early 80s. I'd have to look it up. I probably can find out someday, but it's okay if it's wherever it is. I didn't know I had that, and it was labeled so nice, and I know who she is, and that was neat. And then I didn't even expect to find these today, and there they were. And now I have to, find out and investigate, because if that was my brother, that's really neat that I had pictures of him when he was a kid. That would be really neat. I'd really like that. But And just proof that my parents lied to me, but, well, these are the people that left me on 4th of July, 1976. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it. These are 70s, so I'm going to put these in the 70s. They even say 71, so we know these are all the 70s, and yep, that's 71. So I'm telling you probably the right thing, that it was probably 13. This one was developed, and 71 was probably when I was in 6th grade. So see there, it's kind of somewhere in there. So I'm going to put that over here. It's actually on top of it because it's before, but that's okay. This is the 70s as well. It was a cousin's first wedding. I think I'll put those other ones on top just because I don't want to lose them. And this is Norma, my uncle's friend, and my cousin Lillian. There she is when she was young. That's one of those cousins that are like nieces to me, but good friends. And here I am, a Girl Scout. I was so into Girl Scouts, and I had lots of badges when I was in elementary school. High school was different, but I did try going to camp. Try to be a backpacker because I could not swim. To save my soul, I tried to learn how to swim. I'm still not a good swimmer, but yeah, that was always a challenge for me. And I don't know, my mom said it might have been because I would have temper tantrums when I was little. And it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was just a kind of normal temper tantrum. I don't know if it was like, I was like, my grandson has them too. I mean, kids go through that. And my mom had difficulty with it, and my dad too, and like my dad used the belt on me and left welts one time when I was 2 or 3, and my aunt and uncle saw that, my great aunt and uncle and my grandparents, and I was supposed to hide it under my dress, and I accidentally they had me crawl on the floor and they knew, and then they brought it up. So I don't know, my mom maybe kind of let them know, and anyway, that was the last time my dad did that. Anyway, but my mom was told that putting a washcloth on me was a good thing, and so she'd throw water in my face when I had a temper tantrum, which she thought that was it. I don't think so. I think it was more that my father, one time when we went to Wabino, you saw those pictures, I was like a cute little 3, 4, 5-year-old at the most. I think we did it 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, that we'd go to Wapino and rent a cottage, and all of my aunts and uncles everybody came. Everybody they knew that we're close to. My parents rented it, and then they'd sleep on the floor and have these people for company. I don't know, they were making as big shots, or I don't know why they did that, but they did. And it was nice for me because, it was nice to be with all the people I really loved and loved me. And I felt loved by anyway. And my father, the first year we went, was telling me, now, Tammy, if you fall in the lake, make sure you hold your breath. Let's practice it. Okay. And then he took me fishing on the dock because you could fish for perch. I'm not sure if it was the first or second year we went. And they had me in a life preserver, and I swam out to the dock, and I had my little ring around me, and I had fun. I swam out to the raft with, learning to swim with floaties, and I was doing great. And like in the evenings we'd fish. Well, one evening we went fishing, and my dad knew I was afraid of the fish a little bit. And I had bare feet on the dock, and he flopped a sunfish on the dock, or it fell. I'm not sure which. And he go, watch out, it's going to get your toes. Be careful, might get your toes. And I went backwards off the dock, which was very deep, like 20 feet deep in that spot. And my father came in after me, and I was, like kind of drowning. So I had trouble, with water going in my face and stuff, and, going down and coming up fast enough. I couldn't hold my breath long enough to do that when I was little, and I think I was, scared after that. I remember that they laid me on the table, and, they were all worried about me, and, drowning is a thing, So anyway, but about that same year, my father told me to come towards me, and maybe it was the year after, and a swing hit me. That's why I've got this little divot in my nose. We had a swing in the garage, and my mom was, I was bothering her while she was gardening because I was a little kid, Didn't have much patience for a little kid. She taught 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, so a little 3-year-old or 4-year-old, whatever I was 4. It was just before we went to Ohio that year, and my dad undid the swing, and he said, "Come on, Tammy, ready." And I swear he motioned. Of course, he says I just came running in because I was excited, but he called me, and it hit me right there between the eyes. And, the doctor didn't think I broke my nose, but it is crooked there. There's a divot, so I don't know. And I had black eyes, and we went to Ohio, and my aunt, my uncle's wife, was a nurse, and she said that's probably broken because she's got 2 black eyes, and it was kind of, I don't know. So I know those 2 things happened when I was little. So maybe it was a good thing my brother didn't grow up with my dad. I don't know. He had some problems sometimes. He ended up being a really good dad, for the most part. We did wonderful things together, and there wasn't bad things. But when I was little, there were some abusive things, and some that I won't go into here because I'm not positive of them, but, they were pretty bad. Anyway, more pictures. This one's from the 90s, and it's my handsome husband. Oh, I love this picture. He was a neat-looking guy, and is still a neat-looking guy, neat guy. I adore him. That's the 90s. It could be 88, so it could go here. It could be 88 or 89, so I'm going to put it in the 80s because I think that is the 80s. That was on his parents' farm, way in the back. We walked one time. I think we picked out some trees for some property that we bought and planned to build a house on, but we ended up buying this and not building a house. But yeah, this was Duck Creek. And it was really pretty that fall. It was before we had children. And my husband's home, which is a good thing. And so I'm going to end this live video. Just kind of weird things. I'm going through some pictures here, and just thought I'd, talk about it and chit chat. If you like this video, don't forget to put thumbs up. Do subscribe to my channel, An Accidental Retiree. I talk about a lot of different things on this channel. This one was a little bit more serious than usual. Usually I'm very light and fun. But this time, I just kind of went down memory lane, and we went through some really interesting memories. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now, and God bless.